Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to ALLATRA TV Middle East. And we continue our daily broadcasts on the project Creative Society. And today we have a very special guest from Greece. And before I introduce our special guest, I would like to remind our viewers that Creative Society is the international project launched on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement. And today it's been realized by thousands of people in 140 countries of the world. ALLATRA TV and Creative Society TV channels exist in different languages. And every day we ask people from all over the world how they envision the creative society, such a society where every human being is happy. And we are also testing a theory of 6 handshakes. And according to this social theory, all people in the world are connected through 5 or fewer social connections only. And this is a great tool to get to know every human person, every human being in the world, and to ask his or her opinion. What should we do in order to unite and to build such a society where everyone has a chance to feel secure, to feel free, to feel prosperously, and to live in respect to each other? And today we have a very special guest. It's Dr. Konstantinos Pantos. Hello, Dr. Pantos, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. And Dr. Pantos is a world-known specialist of infertility. He has been working in this field for so many years, and Dr. Pantos worked in Greece, in Australia, in the United States, and currently Dr. Pantos is a vice president of the Global Greek Doctors Institute. And there are a lot of missions and a lot of activities. And I would like to ask you, Dr. Pantos, can you please share your story and what you do and what inspires you in your activity?
Yes, I'm a gynecologist. I specialize in infertility, and my aim is to help couples, women who want to have what is very much a right that they need to have, and for some reason they have lost this right to have a child. So a child is a very strong incentive. It's a right. It's a must for someone to build a family um, together with their partner, or lately in the last few years we have women who have single families also, but they have a right to have a child too. And so we try to help all these couples or women in one way or another, with the most easiest way, the most comfortable way, and the most successful way. We try to uh, look at their inspirations, on what they have lost, on what problems they have during their lives, and try to communicate in a way that they understand what they should do. And of course, we do have methods like in vitro fertilization and all the specialized methods that we can apply for them to have a child the easiest and most successful way.
Yeah, that's very much inspiring. And I know that you have been traveling so much and you have met so many people. From your opinion, what are people looking for, like globally in all countries?
Globally, what they're looking for is a solution in their for their infertility, because people, young people, educated people, now lately in the last few years, mostly women of older age. And when I mean of older age, I mean from the point of view of fertility, which means over 40. And now more and more of them are coming to have a child for the first time. So something which we have seen, and this is a world fact, is awareness. Lacking a lack of awareness as far as fertility is concerned, because mostly now women go through this education process, They have, they look at their academic career, at the professional status, which means that a lot of years are lost for women mostly, trying to go through this education and academic process, which and at one point of their life they find themselves over 40, saying now, okay, I have concluded all this seeking of education, and I want to have a child. And it's our duty to help them to understand that they should have done this earlier, together with the professionalism on the one hand, but there are ways to help them on the other hand. And this is a common value that we see for all women. For example, the last few years, we created through research a process of rejuvenation, ovarian rejuvenation for older women with PRP, platelet-rich plasma. So what we do is we take platelets from their blood, concentrate them, and inject them into the ovaries and rejuvenate the ovaries. It's been amazing how many women from all over the world, from over 60 countries, are coming to Greece now to be helped in their attempt, in their strive to have a child of their own, and not through the donor egg process.
Yeah, family values are still the most important values for people, and people, they really look for having a strong and happy family. I would like to ask you, what unites all people in the world, despite their nationalities, races, religions? What unites all of us?
I think that striving for a purpose, for a human purpose, means that there's no religion or being an obstacle in a way. There's no borders being an obstacle. There's only social values, human values, and having a child, which is a common value for all humans, for all families, is something which is a common goal for all people around the world, no matter what language they have, and no matter what education they have, no matter what um, work they do. When they strive to have a child, this is a very strong incentive for them and common to all people. So, as I said, there will be no borders when they seek such help from specialists.
Yeah, I imagine that you started your activity, your professional activity in this field. There were many researchers, and nobody could imagine that today it will be such a successful sphere of healthcare, right? But still, you came through all this path. And can you please tell me which characteristics should a personality have to continue its road to success and to achieving its goal?
Commitment. You don't stop working. You don't stop trying. You don't stop trying to solve a problem which inflicts other people, on the one hand. And now lately, I believe more and more in awareness. Being aware about your situation, being aware about what's going on, especially in my area of fertility, and now we're trying to commit ourselves and trying to through the education process and to help people understand more about the fertility through a fertility awareness campaign that we have started here in Greece, together now with other countries also like the UK, trying to make people understand what their options are in these long years that they lose trying to gain higher places in the professional aspect, that they should strive to have a family also at the same time. A family with not just one child, but lots of children, and which brings smile and happiness to people all around the world. Now, the way that society sees women is completely different from what this used to be a generation ago. For example, when we see woman of 40 plus age with a young child, everybody will say now, oh, what a nice and beautiful child you have. Just a generation back, not more than a generation, if they saw a 40-year-old woman, they will say, with a child, they will say, oh, what nice grandchild you have. So everything has changed now, even how we see women in our age who, and they have to understand their place in society, and society has to understand the limits that nature imposes on women to have a child of their own earlier in life.
Does it mean that in contemporary society we are very much influenced by the trends of the society, and we like search for career success, we search for realization in some patterns of society? Just a moment, I will switch off my phone, please. Yes, excuse me, please. Yes, and does it mean that we people, we are always under a pressure of the society, what to do, how to live, and we don't have time to stop and to think about our life?
Exactly. We don't have time not to even think, not just about our life, with everyday things and purposes that we do. So yes, common sense plays a lot of has a great role in our lives, and we should every now and then respect and look at this. And on the other hand, it's a society that we live in which has built on information and awareness in every aspect of what we do. So we need to help people understand. We need to help people create more and more what their aspirations are. And also each one of us as a specialist in their own area help people, with the problems that they might see in front of their lives or finding their way to help them overcome all these obstacles. So, from my point of view, as a specialist in infertility, for example, by applying methods like in vitro fertilization, we are able now to have women of whatever age get pregnant, to have women with whatever problem to get pregnant and become and overcome their obstacle. And we want to do this in the least invasive and more respectful and successful way.
And I know that you are yourself a father of 8 children. And this is a great example. Of course, a big family is a big responsibility. And not only the responsibility to provide food and housing, but also the responsibility to share the values. What are the values which you've been sharing with your children or maybe grandchildren already for so many years? What is your message, main message to your children?
Well, the message we don't have really, we don't need to communicate this message. The message is seen by the children as we live all together. I mean, children want to mimic, they want to see an example from their parents, and they will do the same thing. So, especially we are an example to our children and to our grandchildren, and we are all are an example to society also through our work, through striving to make things happen. So by doing good things and bringing a smile, this is what has inspired me through all these years to follow this subspecialty that I'm doing, giving smile to women, making them happy again, making families happy, bringing children, and we know that children bring a child brings a smile to all families, whatever has occurred, even in very well heaven-like societies or in war-torn societies. Children always bring a smile. So Through our work, we set an example to our children, and this is what I think that every one of us does.
Yeah, exactly. So that means we give an example to a message is to ourselves, to adults, and children. They will take just an example from parents, and it's useless to say to your child, "Stop smoking" if you smoke yourself. It's useless to say to a child, "Be a good person" if you don't show yourself such an example. And great understanding. The project Creative Society started a couple of years ago with the conference, international conference, which was called Society the Last Chance. And during this conference, people from many countries discussed the topic why we live in a society where there are wars and conflicts, despite the fact that it's a 21st century and we have technologies and we are so clever, but still there are so many conflicts and many people, they suffer and they live in poverty and they don't have access to basic things such as food, education, and medical care. And we came to the understanding that the format of the society, which is a consumerist format of the society, is the reason to the fact that we consume our planet, but also we consume each other. And the way out of such a situation is the creative society. Creative society is their society, their people have a possibility to grow, to develop, to realize themselves, to live in respect. And we always ask our guests, how do you envision such a society? Can you please share how would you build such a society? How would it be? If you're
We all want a unique society, and unique society means respecting our neighbor, respecting our fellow human being, together that we live in. We want to have simple way of living, not too complicated, but on the other way, easy way. We want to set ourselves as an example, as I said before. We want to be very creative in our thoughts and inspiring in whatever we do. We want to help people live longer, live in peace, stay away from conflict and wars, and also, trying to envision a world with no borders, everybody living in a heaven-like, thoughtful way, which on the one hand might be utopia at the moment, but I think it very well will come in the next few generations. I think that education has played a great role into this. So its education must be and should be provided to all people in the society. No, with for um, without hardship and without having to pay for this education. Education is a right, together with fertility, it's a right. Living is a right also, and living long years and a healthy life as much as possible. So I think every one of us has to play his or her role in this way of thinking and build on these thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a beautiful concept of such a society. You described. If you talk about healthcare system or the creative society, as you know everything about healthcare system, how do you envision such a system in the creative society? What are the main principles? What is it focused to?
The principles is prevention. I think we should play a lot of plays a big role in how people envision health. I see that health has to be through an awareness campaign again for prevention of diseases, trying to preempt whatever comes along in your life. I mean, together with living, we have diseases. So by trying to avoid diseases, then you avoid going to the hospital, for example. So I think on the one hand, awareness has a key role to such a healthy society. On the other hand, of course, we need hospitals, a good health system, doctors who know their work, specialties, subspecialties, and of course, trying to increase the way we handle and medical, in medical terms, the use of drugs, for example, antibiotics, trying to avoid the overuse of antibiotics, trying to avoid the overuse of anything that will make people suffer after, later in life.
It's a great concept of a healthcare system. We were talking with people all over the world, and people mentioned very similar things. And based on these understandings, 8 foundations of the creative society were actually created, and there is an article on the web page allatraunites.com which is called 8 Foundations of the Creative Society. And the first foundation of the creative society is human life. Human life is the highest value. Life of any human has to be protected as one's own. The goal of society is to ensure and guarantee the value of each human's life. There is not and never can there be anything else more valuable than a human's life. If one human is valuable, then all people are valuable. And Dr. Pantos, I wanted to ask you, if we as a society accept that this is the first and the most important foundation of our society, how would our society change? What would change immediately if we all say that this value is accepted, this foundation is accepted?
The first thing that would change is there will be no wars, because there's nothing to divide, and we can all share without dividing, and sharing is a main principle in a society which values human life. So I think that wars will just disappear altogether if everybody accepts this concept.
Yeah, that means that creative society is for sure a world without violence. And do you see what are the first and practical steps which we people could make in order to start building such a society already now?
Well, the practical steps is not only sharing, but it's also creating a place where the sense of trust has a very important value, because I know that everybody wants to be creative, more creative than someone else, but sharing helps this creative process become to unify people's attempts to create and not to divide. So I think that by sharing knowledge, it's a good step into creating this better sense of society.
Yeah, absolutely. There is also another foundation of the creative society, which I would like to discuss with you today. It's the fifth foundation, which is called the creative ideology. Ideology should be aimed at popularizing the best human qualities and stopping everything that is directed against a human. The main priority is the priority of humanity, high spiritual and moral aspirations of a human, humanness, virtue, mutual respect, and strengthening of friendship. Creating conditions for the development and education of a human with a capital H, cultivating moral values in each person and society. prohibition of propaganda of violence, condemnation, and denunciation of any form of division, aggression, and anti-humane manifestations. And talking about this foundation, which is basic for every normal human being, how do you think, if you want to create such an ideology in our society, from where should we start?
I think we should start from the state school, from the first year of school that we send our children, through the secondary high school, and through the tertiary educational system. I think that education here plays a very important role in creating such a step.
Yes, what do you think about mass media? What is the role of mass media in such a society?
Media should be used to inform, should be used to make people aware. It should not be used to divide. It should not be used to make people aggressive. I think mass media does play the most important role of all because it brings different societies together through the media process, and it should be a unified process for all people concerned. I think that awareness should be the main goal in every aspect, in living, in medicine, in development, in wherever.
Yeah, here we come to the point of transparency, transparency of all information for people, and that people are aware of current situation. Thank you so much for your understandings. I would like to ask you that nowadays, as we are all in this pandemic situation and many people suffer from it, what would be your wish to our viewers?
Yes, it's difficult times. People are at the moment being attacked by an invisible enemy, which is very small. It's a virus, but it's common to all people, no matter what status they are, if they're rich, if they're poor, if they're hungry, if they live very well, but they're all threatened by this virus. So at the moment, until immunization starts taking place, I think that we should be very careful. We should be very careful in how we treat other fellow human beings and neighbors, in not transmitting this disease. And I think it's something that will be surely overrun within a year or so.
Thank you so much. And also, the topic which you touched now is the responsibility of every human of the society. And it would be interesting to know your opinion about the concept of creative society. Which responsibility should care every member of such a society?
Which, sorry, I did not hear.
Responsibility towards a society.
Responsibility is against a fellow human being. So we should be more responsible from our point of view or ourselves towards how we handle other human beings. As a doctor, as a member of society, trying to help lessen the transmission of the disease, and in a unified way try to combat this common deadly disease.
Thank you. Dr. Pantos, would you like to live in a creative society?
Yes. I would like to live in a creative society. I would like to try to help as much as possible build such a society, and I think that our children will be very happy to be able to give themselves, a status in such a society. So yes, this is a very nice concept.
Yeah, we all look for the society which will be not only not afraid but proud to live for our children and grandchildren. And we know that we deserve, all people in the world, they deserve to live in such a society, in a secure society. That's why we always speak about how to continue to bring this idea to more people. And I would like to ask you, who you would like to nominate for an interview, live conversation, and to invite for our broadcasts as a guest, someone who would share the same core values as you do.
Have many people here in Greece who will be more than happy to be involved, scientists, doctors, professors, and I think that uh, more people involved in such a creative movement will be very much helpful in making other people understand and be more acceptable to such a change. It's like a breeze coming during a hot summer day. So I think it would be very, very nice.
Thank you so much, and we will wait for guests from Greece, and we would like to listen for more opinion of people living in this beautiful country about creative society, how they envision it, and how we can realize it. And I'm very thankful that you agreed to take part in today's live conversation, and thank you for sharing your experience, for the work which you do, and for happiness which you bring to people. And dear viewers, if you would like to participate in the project Creative Society or to participate in our live broadcasts, please go to the web page allatraunite.com, choose the button Join Us. You will see um, the small page there. You can choose a language you speak and answer one of three very short questions, and then click Join Us. And if you would like to be a guest of our show, you can send us an email to info@allatraunites.com. And dear viewers, please remember, Creative Society is the most important project which is existing nowadays in the world, because on this platform we can unite all together, all humanity, without anybody over us. Just sit and think together as adult and wise people. What can we do in order to build a society we will be proud of? So please join our shows, watch our shows, and if you share them in your social networks, please use two hashtags. Hashtag #AllatReunites and hashtag Creative Society. Thank you so much, Dr. Pantos, for your participation today. And
thank you very much, and I wish every successful in your endeavor to create such a society for us and for our children. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening, everyone.